The first time I saw them, I thought they were the floaters you sometimes get in the corner of your eye, like squiggles. I like embroidery. It kept me busy when the kids were at school, and I had a magnifying glass to help me see the close-up stuff. And one day, I'm working on a piece, and one of the squigglers runs across the cloth. It was their arms that made them look squiggly. They were long and wavy like noodles, but their gray bodies were solid with slitted mouths. The squiggler was holding one of my needles in its arms. I had a habit of muttering out loud and must have said, "For Christ's sake, let me find that needle." And there it was, brought to me by my little plasmoid house helpers. "Thanks," I said, and went to take the needle, but it would not relent. It was a negotiation. What does any creature want? Food. I took a grape and handed it over, and the squigglers squiggled away. I lived in harmony with the squigglers, thinking them the same as helpful house spiders. One day I lost my car keys, and I went over to my magnifying glass with a grape and asked the squigglers to help. They remained immobile. 2 grapes, 3 grapes, 4. Finally, I had to go to the fridge and scoop out a bowl of last night's meatloaf for them. 15 minutes later, my keys appeared. My oldest kid thought it was silly because he couldn't see the squigglers even with the magnifying glass. My youngest, Kyle, had trouble sleeping. I think what done it was the time we stayed with his uncle in New York City, and they had bed bugs. Kyle had the squigglers down as critters. Next, I lost my phone. I didn't want to ask the squigglers anymore because they were driving a hard bargain. Grapes, meatloaf. They'd accept nothing, so I had to go to the store and buy a $50 filet steak. I started thinking then that maybe the squigglers were running a racket, stealing my stuff and selling it back to me. It was time for them to go, so I had the house fumigated. 3 months later, the crisis happened. I lost my inhaler, and I was having the mother of all asthma attacks. I spluttered out for the squigglers' help, and they appeared looking mighty beat up and pissed off. "Inhaler," I wheezed. A small army of them stood immobile. I stumbled toward the fridge and emptied its entire contents over the floor. Nothing. "What do you want, damn it?" My eldest son was out at soccer practice, leaving just me and Kyle. The squigglers arranged themselves in formation, made an arrow pointing at Kyle, and spelled out the word blood. They did not want a little, they wanted enough to bathe in. And that is what I gave them.